Welcome to the Toffee Blues, your source for all things Everton, and welcome to Friday's Everton 24/7 daily report. Well, tonight, for the first time this window, we have a confirmed transfer to bring you, and it's an outgoing one that we were expecting. Earlier today, it was announced that Cenk Tosun had joined Crystal Palace on loan until the end of the season. The new signing has been greeted with general positivity from Palace and Everton respectively, with Palace, of course, in desperate need for another striker, and Everton being very glad to have shifted one of the club's highest earners and, in general sense, a fringe player off the wage bill, even if it is only for the time being. And for me, that's the only downside as far as I'm concerned. I would have liked it to have been a permanent deal. However, Palace do have an option to make the deal permanent in the summer for around 17 million. So we have to just hope now that Tosun impresses in South London and convinces Palace to part with that cash. And that kind of cash will really help boost Carlo Ancelotti's transfer kitty for the future. Which brings me on to our Don himself. Of course, this afternoon, Carlo Ancelotti took to the press box again for his pre-Brighton press conference, where he gave Evertonians some very positive news that both Andre Gomes and Jean-Philippe Baman are set to return to light training next week. On the note of the midfield, he dropped a hint that a midfielder coming in this window is a possibility, and no doubt he will be key behind the scenes to land one, given the state of our midfield options at present. However, he did say that he has no intention of replacing Jordan Pickford at present, despite a couple of poor performances by England's number one this season. In the presser, he did laugh off suggestions about Alisher Usmanov's impending investment, saying that his meeting with Usmanov was merely social before he joined. And of course, he did have to also deal with some questions in the press conference about the fan frustrations that have been expressed during this week. He was very understanding about the fan anger, particularly the fans turning up to voice their frustrations at the training grounds, where he said, "In Italy it is normal, I can speak to them if they want, absolutely no problem. I understand the frustrations of the supporters, but we need them tomorrow." And that's the clear message that I got from the press conference today, is that Ancelotti is keen to draw a line under the debacle of last weekend and wants to look to the future. For me, the onus is now on him to ensure he helps lift the fan base by picking the right personnel tomorrow, players who will give 100%. And if that team does impress, then it may just enable our fans to draw a bit of a line under Sunday themselves and look ahead to the future with a bit more optimism once more. Onto the rumour mill now, and the Daily Mail today have suggested Everton are set to battle West Ham, Arsenal and now Borussia Dortmund for young Norwich right-back Max Aarons. Despite Norwich being in a sort of lowly position in the league, Aarons has impressed at top flight level. He's also done well for the England under-21s, and he would be a decent player to certainly challenge the current right-backs with. Let's be honest, nobody's really making that right-back spot their own at the moment. On the other hand, we could just wait for John Joe Kenny's return from his Schalke loan and see how he fits in next season. And as I say, we are looking to keep as much transfer money in the coffers to make some more big jumps, if you like, make some more substantial signings for the first team. And if we're going to try and save some money, that might be the best course of action, in my opinion. And another defender who looks like he won't be signing for Everton this window is Joe Worrell. He's a promising young centre-back who's doing well in the Championship for Nottingham Forest, and Everton, among others, have been linked with him this window. However, their manager Sabri Lamouchi has come out and said that their centre-back will not be sold, at least not this window. Now, Everton not bringing in a new centre-back means that maybe there could have been an opportunity for some kids to have a go, but it will probably not be Lewis Gibson, because the East Anglian Daily Times have suggested that he is set to move on loan to Ipswich until the end of the season. However, it is good news in the long run, because the article also suggested that he's set to extend his contract at Everton, which was set to expire this summer, and we risked losing him for free. So hopefully there is still a good chance Gibson will play for the Everton first team in the future, and I'd be pleased if it does happen, because I think he's shown a lot of promise when we have seen him play. But he does look like he'll be an Ipswich player until the end of this season at least. And as a footnote to that article, the Daily Times also suggested that the Suffolk team could make Luke Garbutt's loan at Ipswich permanent when his contract expires this summer. And finally tonight, Brighton goalkeeper Matt Ryan announced today that for every registered save by all Premier League goalkeepers this weekend, he will donate $500 Australian to help fight the bushfires in his native Australia, which is a very generous gesture indeed. So no doubt we will be up against a very determined goalkeeper tomorrow who, in the footballing sense, won't want to be too charitable. And at the other end of the pitch, let's hope Jordan Pickford is as keen to raise some cash for him at the other end, and he makes a fair few saves and, most importantly, keeps a clean sheet. But that is most certainly the next port of call for all of us Evertonians. All eyes will be on the game at Goodison against Brighton tomorrow. It's time for positivity. I think we've got to try and move forward, and I am confident that Carlo can get the selection right and pick a side that we can get right behind. And if he does so, I'm confident that we'll get the much-needed win. So come on, you Blues. And that's that for tonight. Be sure to let us know your opinions on all the topics of today. Let us know what you think of Tosun leaving on loan, and also how you think Carlo handled his press conference this afternoon and all the big questions that came with that. Make sure you get involved, most importantly, and drop us a comment and give us a like and a subscribe as well. I'll be back on Sunday with another 24/7 report, and until then, thank you guys for watching on the Toffee Blues.